Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I bring on a guest that I had on in the past, and I liked him so much I had to bring him on back. So today's guest is Ruben Resendez, and he's the president over at adHere. Ruben, welcome back to the show.
Adam, I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, man, so I'm excited to have you back on the show, excited to talk about today's topic, inspiration, motivation, some of the things that you do and that you've done to kind of motivate your team and keep business growing. But before we do that, I don't want to assume that all of our new listeners caught the previous episode. So let's just start with what you're doing over at adHere. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are the fastest growing education lead generation firm here in the U.S., helping universities and colleges find and enroll prospective students into their universities and colleges. So we've been doing it for a little bit over a decade now, and we're excited. We're in really exciting times right now. We're having our biggest year possible, or coming after or off of our biggest year in 2019, and big plans already for 2020. 2020 has actually been better than ever. We just came off of our best month ever here in the month of January in the whole entire history of my career, and it's just getting better here in February, and the future is looking extremely bright for where we're at right now. So we're excited for what we're doing internally with the team. The team's growing, and we're building the team. We're almost at about 20 teammates strong now here in Silicon Valley. So we are excited with where we're going, but also on the client side and helping a lot of universities and colleges. We just keeps on growing. Our roster keeps on growing because we're really doing something that not everybody's doing out there.
Man, I love that. And one of the things that's very interesting, I mean, I follow, like, you're obviously, you're on social media and other things, and we interact there, and I just see some of the content you put out and some of the things that you do to kind of motivate not just your team, but just kind of some of the things that you're putting out there. Let's start a little bit more with kind of inspiration and motivation and kind of how you integrate that into your culture and your work environment. Because I think it's part of the reason for a lot of your success. Obviously, product, all this is great, and niche is great, and you know what you're doing there, a lot of experience. But I think there's a lot more to it that to your growth. So let's start there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I'm a firm believer that the internal, or actually I should start with the external reflects the internal. So if we're sloppy inside of ourselves, then the outside is sloppy as well. So what we like to do is if we take care of all of our teammates and we make sure that they're all good, that they become stronger, that they're being better today than they were yesterday, that they're becoming stronger every single day, then the outside world reflects that as well. And then our clients can feel that. And it becomes much more than just, universities and colleges doing lead generation for them. It becomes much more than that. It becomes more of how do we make an impact on other people? But we got to first make an impact on ourselves. So, one of my mentors once told me that first you got to learn how to lead yourself before you lead others. So what we're looking to do is build leaders within our company where we got to first get right with ourselves, then we can build other leaders. And then once those leaders build other leaders, they can duplicate the process onto others. And that's the only way that we've been able to grow is by really growing ourselves internally. We do a lot of book clubs with the team. We do a lot of traveling with the team. We take care of ourselves very well. We're doing corporate health programs where we have a boot camp that we have a personal trainer that comes in twice a week to come in and train us physically throughout the day so we can make sure that we become champions internally to become champions externally. And it's interesting because a lot of the clients kind of talk to us and they're like, man, what is it that you guys are drinking over there? Because it sounds like you guys are really positive all the time. And they think that we're maybe like drunk on alcohol or something, but it's like, man, we're just excited about what we're doing and we're keeping it positive. And it really does come down to, our core values as well. We stand for the 4 Ps, which is positivity, personal accountability, personal growth, and pulling together. And we try to practice those 4Ps every single day, and everybody knows that these are our core values that we hire off of and that we fire off of and we promote off of. And, we can always teach people skills, but we can never teach people attitude. So if somebody comes in with a negative attitude, it just drains the whole entire office. So we make sure that we keep a positive environment, that we're always saying, the glass is half full instead of half empty, that we know that this is going to happen. We know that we're going to get increased budgets from our clients rather than, maybe this might happen. I hope it might happen. The terms that we use in our office and with our team is that we know what's going to happen. And the more that we intentionalize that, the more that it really does happen. But, it really does start with not just how we speak about the business. It's more of how do we speak with ourselves. And that's what we work on the most is how do we speak with ourselves in the quiet moments when we get outside the office. And no matter how strong someone looks on the outside, each and every single person walking on this earth has those quiet moments every day where they start doubting themselves. They start fearing, they start getting scared, and they start wondering whether they really can have the things that they really want to have, whether they can do the things that they have been asked to do. And we work on that a lot more than we work on how do you talk to clients, how do you go and send an email, all that stuff. Like all that stuff comes later. Anybody can teach that stuff. The main stuff that is the biggest thing that has led to us being able to grow the way that we've grown in our industry has been us working on ourselves, because there's only 8 hours in the day that everybody's in the office and that our team is together, but it's that the other hours outside of those 8 hours that make the biggest effect on how we work in those 8 hours.
Let's go a little bit further down that leadership path that you mentioned. So, because it's one thing to say, you teach somebody and then so that they can be empowered and then duplicate themselves. It's another thing to execute that. So, what do you think have been some of the things that have helped you execute on that mission?
Yeah, what's been interesting? It's been celebrating wins. So, we are on the path over the next 12 months and on a run rate to do over $30 million in revenue. If you talked to me about 7 years ago, we were struggling just to do maybe $1 million in revenue. And we're still just getting by. But what led to that is that what led to where we're at right now. And we're just barely getting started still. We're just barely scratching the surface. But we started to just recognize wins, and we start with wins. And we continue to recognize more wins, whether it's big or small. We still recognize those wins. A mentor of mine once told me, and I still use this to this day, and I teach my son this as well, that, you got to respect a penny before you can earn $1. You got to respect $1 before you can earn $50. You got to respect $50 before you earn $100. So what I teach my son is that, we make it almost a game where we're looking on the ground and we're looking for pennies. As we're just walking throughout the day and walking on the street. We live over here in downtown San Jose, so we see a lot of pennies on the floor, and it's very dirty pennies. But you know what? That penny is still valuable, and it still holds its value. Even though it's dirty on the outside, most average and ordinary people, they wouldn't pick up that penny because they say, it's dirty, I'm going to skip over it. But that's the reason why we're average and ordinary. We're extraordinary because we go the extra mile that even if it's dirty, we're still going to pick it up and recognize it as a win. Where, I teach my son that every time he picks up a penny, I always say, wow, you're a money magnet. It's like money just is attracted to you and it just falls out of the air and just keeps on going. So now every time we pick up a penny, we say, I'm a money magnet. And now we make it a game of like, man, who can attract the most money? And it just keeps on going, where I apply that also into our business, where you got to recognize every single win, every little win, every single little win, no matter how small it may seem. You got to respect that little win. So whether it be that, hey, we all showed up into the office before 9:30 a.m. today, let's count that as a win. We all worked through the whole entire lunch day today. Let's count that as a win. We're all breathing today. Let's count that as a win. We're all walking today. Let's count that as a win. Hey, we're active today and we all made it. We're not sick and everybody else around us is getting sick. Let's count that as a win. So it's just really recognizing those small little wins, and it just snowballs into bigger wins and bigger wins and bigger wins and bigger wins, where we just become a company full of winners. And that's what we grow, as a company full of winners. They may not have been winners before they got to us, but if they're around us, they're going to become winners, because we're going to make them recognize those small little wins that some of us, the average and ordinary people, take for granted, but we're extraordinary. We're the extra in extraordinary. So we recognize those small little wins, which may sound a little weird, but one of my mentors told me, you know, weird and rich or broken cool. You can choose whether you want to be weird and rich or broken cool. But yeah, we don't mind being weird. That's actually one of our core values we may implement, as well as like be weird. Just not too weird, but be willing to be weird.
That's awesome. Just not too weird, but it's okay.
A little weird. We're okay with weird, but just not too weird, but be a little weird. It's okay.
Oh man, that's great. That's awesome, Ruben. Man, that's great stuff you're doing. I knew you had some things to share here today, and that's why I brought you back on. I'm excited to hear more and learn more about as your business grows. Yeah, I can't wait to tap you on the show for our reunion 2021. We'll be there before we know it, and you're going to be like, man, that revenue, we smashed that. We're on to the next one, and we're just going to continue to keep on winning. So I love it, man. Awesome success story, awesome things you're doing to empower and your employees, and also, obviously, of course, to help your clients. So all great stuff there. So, Ruben, if somebody's listening to this and they do want to learn more about adHere, what's the best way for them to get info?
Yeah, I think the best way is, you know, our website, our company website is adHereLLC.com. But to be honest with you, that doesn't really tell you what we do. I made that site literally myself about 11 years ago. And when I made that site, I purposefully made it in a very gray type of manner. So if anybody saw it, they wouldn't really know what we're doing. But now we're revising it. So within the next 30 days, and possibly when this is released, and our website will be completely done. But I would recommend just following me on Instagram, which is Ruben Resendez, at RubenResendez. And usually post everything about our team on there. Usually post a lot of the stuff that I'm doing personally, a lot of stuff that's out there. You know, my main goal, Adam, is to inspire people who maybe have an excuse that says, hey, I can't do it because I'm this. I can't do it because I was born on the wrong side of the tracks. I can't do it because I'm a single dad. I can't do it because I was on food stamps, or I can't do it because I was born in a middle-class family. Nobody in my family's ever been a business owner or anything of that sort. All those things I listed, Adam, were all my excuses that I used for myself previously before. But I know somebody out there is probably sitting in their chair thinking the same way that I thought so many years ago, that if they look at me and they're like, man, if this college dropout that grew up on the east side of San Jose, this single dad that was on food stamps is able to make something like this happen, dude, what's my excuse? That's my whole entire goal, Adam. So that's what I'm pushing for here in 2020.
Man, I love it. Well, hey, Ruben, thanks again for coming on the show as always. Awesome catching up with you and getting a feel for what you're doing over there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review. If you are watching this on our Mission Matters Business YouTube channel, then give us a subscribe there, and then also leave us some comments on the video. I mean, don't let the conversation end here. Let's just move it over to the YouTube community. And Ruben, thanks again for coming on the show.